Welcome everyone to our today's knowledge build session. We have all seen the headlines about the changing phase of television, but today we're moving past the hype and into the strategy. We are officially in the mindset of the living room revolution. In the next few minutes, we are going to break down how you can own the biggest screen in the house, reach audiences on the world's most premium streaming platform, and finally, bridge the gap between TV prestige and digital return on investment. Let's dive into how you can lead the change in this new era of precision casting. Now that we have introduced the core vision, let's look at how we are going to break this down today. First, we will analyze the current landscape, the challenges and shifts that we are seeing in the market right now. From that, I will explain why DV360 is the ultimate hub for navigating that landscape and why it is the right choice for your specific goals. We will then dive into a major competitive edge, the strategic advantage of global frequency management. This is where we talk about efficiency and how to stop wasting budget on overexposure. Next, we will explore measuring the unmeasurable, looking at the data points that traditional platforms often miss. And finally, we will wrap up with a clear conclusion and the next steps to get your strategy moving forward immediately. In 2026, streaming has surpassed the linear TV in total viewership. But this isn't just a technical change, it is a fundamental shift in the human behavior. We have moved from channel surfing, where viewing was passive and dictated by schedule, to content selecting. Today, every viewing session is intentional. There was a fear in our industry that digital meant small screens. But as you can see from the transition of this slide, the big screen hasn't disappeared. It has been reborn. Viewers haven't left the living room. They have simply upgraded to Getaway. They are still craving that high quality and cinematic experience, but they are now accessing it through an internet connection rather than a cable wire. This is considered the birth of the precision casting era. For us as a marketeer, this is the ultimate opportunity. We no longer have to choose between the prestige of TV and the precision of digital. By moving away from a linear-only mindset, we can finally reach the most engaged audience in the house with surgical intent. We haven't just broadcasting anymore, we are now connecting. So we move forward, remember that the audience is still there. They are just waiting for us to meet them on their own terms. If we look back just a few years, the biggest streaming names like Netflix, Disney+, Max were entirely closed ecosystems. They relied slowly on prescription fees. But today, the landscape has fundamentally shifted. We are now in the AVOD explosion. Every major streaming giant has pivoted to offer massive ad-supported titles. Why? Because the customer demanded it. Viewers now are happy to trade a few minutes of their time for lower subscription costs. For us as advertisers, this means that the most desired audience in the world, who were previously unreachable behind the paywall, are now sitting right there on our digital dashboards, ready to be engaged. This brings us to a massive change in inventory quality. Traditionally, if you wanted to be seen next to a blockbuster series or a premium Disney production, you had to participate in upfronts, committing millions of dollars months in advance with very little flexibility. That exclusivity is gone. What was once locked away for the biggest spenders is now available programmatically. We can now bid on Netflix or Max inventory with the same agility we use for a standard display bag. We are no longer buying remnant or cheap inventory. We are buying absolute gold standard of television content, but we are doing it with the intelligence of a data-driven DSP. The final pieces of this puzzle is accessibility. Through DV360, we have a single point of entry to reach audiences across all these premium apps simultaneously. We aren't managing 5 different contracts, we're managing one unified strategy. This ease of access allows us to be incredibly surgical. We can reach a Stranger Things fan on Netflix in the morning and the Star Wars, let's say, enthusiast on Disney in the evening, ensuring that your brand is integrated into the highest quality environments available on the planet. For decades, the golden standard of advertising was the television. Why? Because of the environment. When someone sits down in front of the largest screen in their house, they are in a lean-back mindset and they are immersed in log-for content, like movies, premium series, or live sports. In this environment, we achieve that every brand dreams of 100% viewability. CTV ads are almost always full screen and unskippable. We aren't just buying seconds of attention, we are buying prestige. We are ensuring that your brand is presented with the cinematic quality it deserves in an environment where the viewer is relaxed and attentive. But here is where the digital half of the equation changes everything. Traditionally, TV was a shooting match and you bought a time slot, say 8 p.m. on a Tuesday, and you hoped your audience was watching. With CTV and DV360, we don't buy time slots, we buy household profiles. We use surgical data to ensure that your ad only plays if the person behind the screen is, for example, a luxury auto intender or, let's say, a frequent traveler. Even more powerful is the use of the first-party data. You can take your existing customer list and find those specific individuals on their TVs. We aren't guessing who is watching, we are following the data directly into the living room. Finally, let's talk about real-time agility. In the world of linear TV, once your ad was scheduled, it was locked in. If you wanted to change your creative or stop a campaign that wasn't performing, it was nearly impossible. In DV360 ecosystem, we have total control. For example, if you see that one creative is resonating better with audiences in Dubai than in Abu Dhabi, you can swap them instantly. If you want to pause the campaign or shift the budget to a better performing audience, we can do it with just one single click. We have just discussed how the media landscape was exploded with new streaming devices and AVOD tires. But for a marketing team, this explosion creates a massive problem, and this is fragmentation. In the old way of doing things, if you wanted to be on YouTube, Disney+, Hulu, and some local news channels, you had to sign separate contracts, manage separate assets, and look at 4 different reporting dashboards. This is why we called DV360 the strategic cockpit. It is the single point of control that simplifies this entire fragmented work. From one dashboard, we can deploy your message across every screen like mobile, tablet, and most importantly, the big screen, simultaneously. We aren't just buying media, we are orchestrating a unified brand presence across the entire digital ecosystem. The real value here is the simplified workflow. Think about the time and the resources that you saved. No more managing 10 different direct deals with 10 different publishers. No more trying to manually stitch together data to see if your YouTube audience is the same as your Disney Plus audience. By centralizing everything in DV360, we gain a unified landscape. We can see exactly where the budget is working and where it isn't in real time. This allows us to move at the speed of the consumer. We can shift the budget from one publisher to another instantly, ensuring that your investment is always following towards the highest performing inventory. It turns a logical nightmare into actually a very strategic advantage. Think of programmatic guaranteed as a VIP reservation. It allows us to secure fixed price must have inventory on the world's most premium shows, exactly like a traditional TV buy. Whether it is a championship football match, a global breaking news event, or the season final of a top tier series on Disney Plus or Max, we can guarantee your brand spots in that specific environment. You get the peace of mind that comes with the traditional upfronts, knowing exactly where your ad will run and how much it will cost. But here is where we find the edge that traditional TV simply cannot match. In a traditional buy, when you purchase a spot in a premium show, you pay for everyone watching, even if they aren't your target audience. With programmatic guaranteed in DV360, we apply a data filter to that reservation. We can use your first party data or Google's advanced audience signals to decide in real time who actually sees the ad within that guaranteed spot. If the person watching doesn't fit to your ideal customer profile, we don't serve the ad. We don't spend a budget. It is the highest level of brand safety and prestige, combined with the highest level of digital efficiency. We are no longer just buying a show, we are buying the right person within the best show. When we talk about connected TV, we often forget the biggest player in the room, which is YouTube. In 2026, YouTube isn't just a mobile app. It is a primary TV channel. In fact, for many households, it is the only channel. But here is the strategic secret sauce, let's say. DV360 is the only DSP in the world that allows you to buy and manage YouTube on the biggest screen alongside with all other CTV publishers like Disney Plus, Max, or some local broadcasters. In any other platform, YouTube is a separate silo with its own rules and its own data. In DV360, it's just another part of your premium TV mix. We are closing the gap between social video and cinematic television, giving you exclusive access to the entire living room from one single point of entry. The real power here is unified management. Think about the old way. You'd like to run a campaign on YouTube via Google search and a separate CTV campaign to different vendors. You'd have no idea if you were reaching the same person twice or missing a huge chunk of your audience entirely. By bringing YouTube into DV360 workflow, we manage reach and frequency holistically. You can ensure that the user who just watched your ads on a YouTube video doesn't get bombarded with the same ads again while they are watching a movie on Disney Plus. We are treating YouTube with the same prestige and precision as every other high-end publisher. It's one single workflow, one unified dataset, and ultimately, one much more efficient budget. This is actually the synergy that only Google can provide. We have all been there, and we are watching your favorite show, and you see the exact same 30 seconds in every single commercial break. By the fifth time, you aren't just ignoring the break, you are starting to dislike it actually. In traditional TV, this is a massive hidden cost. You are paying to reach the same person over and over, while 30% of your potential audiences isn't seeing the ad at all. This is what we call ad fatigue. And in 2026, it is the fastest way to burn a marketing budget. This is where DV360 changes the game, because DV360 sits at the center of the Google ecosystem. It sees the household. When we run CTV through DV360, we don't just set a limit on one channel. We set a global frequency cap. This means if a user sees your ad on YouTube on their TV in the morning, DV360 knows not to show it to them again on Disney Plus or Hulu in the evening. We can cap it, say, 3 exposure per week across all CTV apps. We are respecting the viewer's attention while protecting your brand equity. But the real magic isn't just upping the ad. It is where that money goes. By cutting out those fourth, fifth, and tenth redundant impression, we automatically shift that wasted budget toward incremental reach. Instead of showing one person the ad 10 times, we show it to 3 different people 3 times. You are literally buying more new customer with the exact same budget you had yesterday. It turns CTV from a shooting match into a precise conversation. Historically, the biggest criticism of TV advertising was that it was a black box. You'd spend a massive budget, run a beautiful ad, and then wait months for a research agency to tell you if it actually moved the needle. In the DV360 ecosystem, we have eliminated that waiting period with real-time brand lift surveys. We are able to gather direct feedback by serving short and non-intrusive survey questions to viewers shortly after they have seen your ad. We aren't just looking at clicks or reviews. We are measuring the metrics that actually build brands, like ad recall, brand favorability, and purchase intent. We are essentially having a digital conversation with your audience to see if your message is truly resonating. It is important to note that this feature is currently available only in the US market, but it is expected to expand to additional markets in the near future. This is the transition from hoping to knowing, because these surveys are data-driven and integrated directly into the platform. We can see which specific creative, which publisher, or which audience segment is driving the most mindshare. If we see that a specific 5-second spot is driving a 20% lift in purchase intent, while a 30-second spot is lagging behind, we don't have to wait until the end of the quarter to make a change. We can optimize the campaign while it is still running. We are taking the prestige of a TV ad and baking it with the same hard data expected from a performance campaign. Actually, we stop guessing if your brand is being remembered. Now we can prove it. One of the biggest challenges with traditional TV has always been the attribution gap. We knew people were watching, but we couldn't prove that they were buying. Today, this gap is actually closed. With online conversion attribution, we can finally map the entire path to conversion. We can see when a user is exposed to a high-impact ad on their CTV in the evening and subsequently visits your website to make a purchase on their mobile phone or laptop in the morning, let's say. We aren't just looking at the last click. We are looking at the entire journey. And we are giving the big screen the credit it deserves for driving the initiate interests that eventually lead to a checkout. We can track how an upper funnel CTV impression feeds your lower funnel search and social campaigns. This data allows us to stop treating TV as an isolated silo and start treating it as a performance driver. By seeing exactly how many conversions were influenced by your CTV spend, we can optimize your budget with surgical precision. We are no longer just buying TV and hoping for the best. We are building a bridge from the living room directly to your revenue. As we move into 2026, we have to acknowledge that the traditional commercial break is no longer the only way to reach an audience. In fact, some of the most valuable inventory exists in the moments between the content. This brings us to a major innovation, and this is the post-ad. Think about the user journey. When a viewer hits pause, it's usually for a reason. They are grabbing a snack, answering the phone, or talking to someone in the room. In that moment, the screen is usually empty or blurred. The pause ad takes that dead space and turns it into a high-impact statistic canvas, because the ad only appears when the user initiates a break. It is non-intrusive, and we aren't interrupting their favorite show. We are simply being present when they are taking a break. The beauty of this format is its high impact. By appearing during a moment of zero clutter, your brand doesn't have to fight for attention against other commercials. It sits there, clean and static, capturing 100% focused attention the moment the viewers looks back at the screen in order to resume their show. It is the ultimate upper-friendly format. It respects the flow of the content while maintaining constant visibility. For a premium brand, this is the perfect way to stay top of mind without being top of noise. It is a sophisticated, modern way to own the big screen during the natural pauses of everyday life. We are no longer just buying time, we are buying the most attentive moments of the viewing experience. To wrap everything up, let's look at the fundamental shift that we have discussed today. We are moving from the era of broadcasting to the era of precision casting. In the traditional world, media buying was often a game of buying spots and hoping for the best. You'd cast a wide net, pay for millions of impressions that weren't relevant to your brand, and wait months to see the results. Today, through DV360, we aren't just paying time, we are buying audiences with surgical control. We know who they are, we know what they are interested in, and we know exactly how to reach them on the most impactful screen in their lives without wasting a single cent of your budget. By leveraging CTV through DV360, we are doing more than just showing an ad. We are managing frequency to respect viewers' time, we are using programmatic guarantees to secure the best content, and we are using real-time data in order to prove that every dollar spent is driving a real earned result. Now that we have reached the end of this session, I want to leave you with 3 core takeaways that will define the success of our media strategy this year. First is efficiency. By implementing centralized frequency management through DV360, we are eliminating the hidden waste of traditional TV. We are ensuring that your brand stays top of mind without becoming an annoyance, and we are reinvesting those saved dollars back into new and unique reach. Second is access. You now have programmatic access to AVOD inventory on Netflix, Disney+, and Max. This means your brand sits alongside with Hollywood-level production, but with the agility of a digital startup. And finally is measurement. We are no longer operating in a black box. We are measure brand lift in real time and attribute online conversion directly to your CTV spend. We are finally able to prove that through return on investment of the big screen across every device in the household. Thank you for your participation. If you'd like to learn more, ask questions, or simply share your feedback, please scan the QR code and that will appear on the screen shortly. Complete the form and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you everyone for your attention and I wish you a great day ahead. Bye.